Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're having a great Thursday. Today's video will be covering packet number 5, day 9. So we're getting close to the end of packet 5. At the end of this week, you will pick 2 pieces of work from each subject that you thought showed your best work this week. So that's 2 things from reading, 2 from writing, 2 from math, and 2 from content, to send to me or Mr. Overton, and we will make sure that we mark that you turned that in, and we will get your name entered in that KFC drawing. So, like I said, we're at day 9 of packet 5, so if you look at that portion of your packet now, the first thing that we're starting with is some alphabetical order work. So it says write the alphabet across the top of your paper. So across the top, you're going to write your whole alphabet across the top of your page, A all the way to Z. Then you are going to be asked to put some words into alphabetical order. So you'll leave your alphabet at the top of your page. I just erased mine. The words that you're being asked to put in alphabetical order are frame, lime, park, swing, horn, them. So just like normal, when we are putting words into alphabetical order, we circle the first letter because that's the one we're focused on. And then we begin going through our ABCs. A. Do I have any words that start with A? No. What about B? Nope. C. D. E. What about F? I see one that starts with F, so when I'm putting words in ABC order, frame would come first, then I keep going. G. Until you've put all of those words in alphabetical order. And last week, we had 2 words that started with the same letter, and a lot of you did a great job. You knew if their first letter is the same, I then look at their second letters to see which one goes first. I don't think we have that problem this week, though, but it's good to know what to do if their first 2 letters are the same. So it says there's a 3-minute video on how to alphabetize words if you need help. The YouTube link is listed there. I believe last week I clicked on it and showed you a portion of it, so I won't do that now, but if you do need some help or a refresher on how to put words into alphabetical order, there is a link right there in your packet. I will show you very quickly now just where the link is. Right here. Click that link or type that link in, you'll be able to access the short video with reminders on how to alphabetize. Next we have so you'll be putting those words in alphabetical order just on a piece of paper. Next we have a reading activity. It says read the article consumers and producers, and then for writing we're going to answer the questions that go with the text consumers and producers. So I'm going to go ahead and find that now. Okay. And I'm going to read this through, but then I want you to go back and read it through by yourself too. So I'm going to read it, and then I want you to read it. I'll share my screen with you. So this is what we're looking at. Consumers and producers. Buying and selling. People buy and sell goods and services every day. People who buy or use things are called consumers. People who make or sell things are called producers. Producing goods. Producers sell goods they grow or make. Farmers are producers when they sell the fruits and vegetables they grow. A toy company is a producer when it sells the toys it makes. Producing services. Producers offer their time and skills by selling services. Doctors are producers when they give people checkups. Taxi drivers are producers when they give people rides. Consuming goods. Consumers buy all sorts of goods. Consumers buy small goods like clothes, toys, and food. They also buy large goods such as boats and houses. Consuming services. Consumers spend money on many types of services. They pay to have their cars washed at a gas station. Consumers also spend money to have someone fix their bicycles. And then we have a glossary at the end. Spend means to use money to buy things. A good is something that can be bought or sold. A checkup is an exam to see if a person is healthy. A service is work that helps others. So after you've read that, these are the questions that you're going to answer about what you just read. And if you need to reread, you should read Consumers and Producers, or Producers and Consumers, on your own before you do the questions. And if you need to have the text out while you're answering the questions, that's fine. So it says, you may need a grown-up to read this with you. Please use the text Producers and Consumers to answer the questions. So you might need an adult with you or an older sibling with you while you're reading these questions. Why do you think there is a picture of people with a shopping cart in the text? That's the first question that you're going to answer. And here's that picture. Number 2 says, what do you think the section with the buying and selling heading will be about? Remember what headings do. And when you're answering these questions, you need to be doing that in a full sentence, a complete sentence. We should have uppercase letters at the very beginning and punctuation at the end. Number 3 says, why are farmers called producers? And number 4, if you make a face mask and sell it, are you a consumer or a producer? Good, so after you've read that text, like I read for you, you read it to yourself, then you're going to be answering those questions about what you read. So, after that, that's all for our reading and writing section for today. Next, we have math. For math, as always, we're starting with that daily calendar talk. So you should have your May calendar filled in. We're practicing our months of the year and the days of the week. We're doing this every day. You should be reviewing the date along with the day and practicing things like, if today is the 21st, what will the 25th be? How many days until Memorial Day? Things like that, just to keep you familiar with the calendar, and so the calendar can quickly provide you information that you need, and you don't have to kind of think about it as much. When we practice with the calendar each and every day, it becomes very easy to know how to read a calendar and how to use it to help you. So after your daily calendar talk, it says we're working with clocks today. So it says, find a partner in your house to discuss the following questions about time. Why is it important to be able to tell the time of day? So you're going to be talking to someone in your house about this, and you can absolutely feel free to write down your answers to these questions so that you can use that to be turned in. What problems might happen if people didn't know how to tell time? Think about that. If we didn't know how to tell time, what problems could arise? Write the times in the clocks below. After putting the times under the clocks below, work with someone else to think of activities you like to do at the time shown. So before we look at the clocks that you are given in your packet, I'm going to review. We talked about time during calendar a little bit, but I'm going to do a quick little review. So if we are looking at a clock, first of all, There are two types of clocks. This is called an analog clock, and this is called a digital clock. The analog clock has the hands of the clock. These are called the hands of the clock, and they have all of our numbers around the outside of the circle. Our digital clock has the hour and the minutes separated by these two dots right here. So this is our digital clock. This is the kind of clock that we see on our phones and computers most of the time. And this is our analog clock, where we usually see on a wall. Or some watches. There are watches that can be analog, and there are watches that can be digital. So when we are looking at an analog clock, we said that these are the two hands of our clock. One of the hands is telling us the hour, and one of them is telling us the minute. Here's a quick way to remember which hand is the hour hand and which hand is the minute hand. When I look at the word hour and I look at the word minute, which word is shorter? Which word has fewer letters? Hour. Hour only has 4 letters and minute has 6. So hour is the smaller or shorter word. So since hour is the shorter word, it is also the shorter hand on the clock. Minute is the longer word, so it is the longer hand on the clock. Now, we're also going to say, because girls are usually shorter than boys, not always. Some girls are taller than boys, but usually they're a little bit shorter. So we're going to say, since the hour hand is the shorter hand, we're going to say this is our girl hand, and the minute hand is taller, so this is the boy hand. We say ladies go first when we're having manners. When you're practicing manners, we let ladies go first. So when we read the time, the shorter hour hand is what we read first. So when I'm reading this clock, I know that I'm going to read the shorter hand first because ladies go first. It's pointing to the 10, so I would say 10 o'clock. When my minute hand is pointing straight up at the 12, I know there are 0 minutes. And my hour hand is pointing to the 10, because remember, when we look at it digitally, the hour is on the left-hand side and the minutes are on the right. And I would say 10 o'clock. When there are 0 minutes, we say o'clock. Now, if I'm looking at the clock and it looks like this, I count these numbers. So these numbers tell us the hour, but they also tell us there are very little lines. If you look closely, there's very little lines in between each hour that tell us the minutes that are passing. So if we're counting the minutes, I told you that when our minute hand is pointed at the 12, we have 0 minutes. Then we have 5. See if you notice what we count by. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then we are at a new hour. So what are we counting by? 5s. So my hour hand is my shorter hand. It's the girl hand. We let ladies go first, but look, it's stuck between the 2 and the 3. It's right in between the 2 and the 3. Here's an easy way to know whether the hour is 2 or 3. It's stuck in the middle, but is it at the 3 yet? Has it gotten to the 3 yet? No. If it hasn't gotten to the next number yet, we go back. The hour is 2. And what would my minutes be? The minutes are what we're counting by 5s for. Start with, we know I have 0 minutes up here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. When my minute hand is pointed all the way straight down, that tells me I have 30 minutes. So it is 2:30. So let's practice another one. Okay. Who can tell me? And remember, when we're looking at the hour, it's just the number that's listed on the clock. These are only for our minutes. So our hand is the shorter hand. It's the girl hand. We let ladies go first to be polite. So I read this first. 5. How many minutes do I have? It's pointed straight up at the 12. It is 5 o'clock because I have no minutes yet. It just entered the 5 o'clock hour. Let's try one more. The hour hand is our shorter word, so it's the shorter hand on the clock. It's also our girl hand. We let ladies go first to be polite. So I'm looking here first, but it's stuck between the 8 and the 9. Remember, what did I say? Has it passed the 8 yet? Yes. Has it gotten to the 9 yet, though? No. So if it hasn't gotten to the 9 yet, we know the hour's got to be in the 8. It is 8. Now we count by 5s. I know when my minute hand is pointed straight up at the 12, I have 0 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It is 8:30. Now, for your problem on the packet, what you have to do is you have 2 times shown. That is one of them. And your job is to read the time and write it digitally underneath the clock. So I'll show you what it looks like in your packet really quick. We're looking right here. Here's your first time. You need to read this and write it digitally underneath the clock. Then it says, work with someone else to think of activities you like to do at the time shown. So once you've figured out what time this is, think about what you like to do during that time, during the day. What are you doing at that time during the day? Next time you have to figure out is right here. So that looks like this. You need to figure out what time that is and write it digitally underneath the clock. And then again, work with someone else to think of activities you like to do at that time of the day. What are you doing during that time? Perfect, and that's your math activity for today. Now we are in content. So people make choices because they cannot have everything they want. That's just how life is. We can't get everything that we want all the time. So the heading of this section is making choices. Ask someone in your house to share about a time when he or she had to make a choice between two things that they really wanted. For an example, I had plans with a friend to see a movie, or you could go to the beach. Explain how you wanted to do both things, but you couldn't because they were going to be at the same time. Explain how you would make your choice. Talk to someone in your home about the following questions. So the first thing you had to do was talk with someone in your home about a time when they had to pick between two things they wanted to do and how they made that choice. Then you're going to talk to someone in your home about these questions I'm about to read to you. Have you ever had to make a difficult choice between two things? You're going to answer that. And you can write this down if you want to maybe turn it in. How does it make you feel when you have to choose between two things and you cannot have everything you want? Answer that question. And then you're going to read Jobs for James. And I'm going to read it to you, but then you need to read it to yourself. So let's go ahead and find that now. Okay. Jobs for James. James saw a cool new hamster cage. Hamster Hank would like this, he said. Hank could run in all the tubes and rooms. Okay, said James. At home, James counted his money. I have $14, said James. The cage costs $30. I'll need to earn the money, James said. I'll ask if there are any jobs I can do, he said. I'll pay you $2 an hour to rake leaves, said Grandpa. I'll pay you $3 an hour to clean the garbage, said Mom. I'll pay you $4 an hour to pull these weeds, said Mrs. Tom. James pulled weeds for an hour. He cleaned the garage for 2 hours. He raked leaves for 3 hours. Now I have the money I need, James said. I can buy Hank's new cage. James got Hank's new cage. He was proud of his hard work. Hank was proud of his new home. And then we have some questions at the bottom. How would you describe James? You need to answer these questions. Who are the other characters? What are they like? Why is James proud of his hard work? The benefit of his hard work was that he earned money. What were the costs? So what did he have to do to get that money? what was the problem of the story, how did it get solved, and what was the theme of the story. So what was the big idea that the author wanted you to take away from reading this story? What was the message that they wanted you to understand? So after reading that book and answering those questions, it says, explain what choices James had to make in the story. How do you think he decided? Pretend that you produced the service of selling candy to kids in the neighborhood. You earned $10. Now you have to decide between two goods. Explain what two goods you will choose from. Use the costs and benefits chart to think through making a choice. So now what you have to do is you have to pretend that you sold candy to the kids in the neighborhood and you made $10. Now you have to decide between buying two things. So you can only buy one of them, but you want both of them. But you only have enough money to buy one. So now we're going to use this worksheet to help you kind of think through making the choice of what to buy. It's right here. Costs and benefits chart. Decision. Should I buy the blank? What is one of the things that you want? And draw a picture of what you want in the space above. Then think of something else that you might want to use the money to buy. Should I buy the other thing? And draw a picture of what you want in this space. So these should be two different things that you're deciding between. And then you need to make a list of the goods and the bads about getting each. So benefit means what would be good about choosing to buy this thing? How would it help you? Cost is, as we see a sad face, what might be a negative or a bad thing about choosing to buy this? And do the same thing for this item. Make a list of things that are good or could be a positive of you getting this one, this item, and list the negatives or the bad things that could come of you choosing this thing. And then look at your lists and see which item has more good things about picking it, and that should be the thing that you pick to spend your $10 on. Okay, so after you filled out that worksheet to help you choose which item to spend your $10 on, that is it for content, and that is it for the packet today. So hopefully this video was helpful. I've gotten some feedback from a few parents and students that they're watching these, so that makes me feel good. I'm glad that they're being helpful for you. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to let me know. We have a Zoom call, a class Zoom at 1 o'clock today, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys then. And then, yeah, tomorrow you can go ahead and start sending us your work, 2 pieces of work from each subject, and we will mark that you turn that in, get feedback to you as quickly as possible, and enter you in that KFC drawing. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at 1 o'clock. I miss you and I love you. Bye.